once upon a time there was native ways and native laws, villages of native blood awakening to the morning, awakening to the morning.
They say that man should lay down his life for two things.
They say that man should fight to death for two things.
Whenua,
The land,
or waikiwi.
for women. Ko taranaki maunga muru here, ko taranaki whenua muru here, ko taranaki moana muru here, ko taranaki tangata e tū tonu nei, tihe mauri ora. Mount Taranaki confiscated, Taranaki land confiscated, Taranaki seas confiscated. Our land was taken.
Our women were taken, and in their parihaka,
This sacred house of men, their wombs,
they carried the children of rape.
if their husbands, fathers, sons and brothers returned living after years of imprisonment,
They returned to their wife's child.
Donna,
to their
you were
daughter's
performing,
child,
weren't you? You were performing in,
their mother's child.
and did you facilitate a performance for tonight's show, for tonight's gathering as well? Tell me about it.
Yeah. There's a group of us that get together for different events, such as Matariki, and I wrote the play tonight, and then we have amazing people like Helen who are musicians, and performers such as Tamara and Naomi who can just come in an hour before the show and put movement to it. So we're working with an incredibly talented group of people who are professional enough just to walk in and do a show almost cold. So a bit of luck as well, I think. Yeah.
And so tonight's performance, what was that about?
Tonight's performance was about Parihaka. November the 5th is the day that the invasion of Parihaka happened in 1881. It was basically a passive resistance movement in Taranaki and led by Whiti, Oromai and Tohu. And they basically preached peace. And because of the demand for more land, the militia came in, and it's kind of one of those really black spots in New Zealand history that very few people know about, apart from Tin Fin's, Parihaka song, So it's really good that, particularly at this time with what's happening in the Uruweras, what's happening with a lot of passive resistance groups, pacifism is not about terrorism. And it will be a really sad day when political protest is actually deemed terrorist acts.
And you're obviously very passionate about this. I wonder if you'd just like to talk about your personal connection with it.
Sure. I'm Te Atiawa. I grew up in Taranaki, I grew up in New Plymouth, and I grew up with my great-grandmother, and her father was actually one of the children at Parihaka. He was 12 years old when Parihaka was invaded. And we kind of grew up with the story of Parihaka, but not. I went to Parihaka as a child, and later on as an adult, I was lucky enough to join a group of people and start writing plays and living at Parihaka for a while. So I have a very personal connection, but also the whole spiritual connection with personal challenges, finding peace within conflict, and finding peace within yourself when you're in conflict with others. So I think as you get older, you start looking at your own spirituality. And so Parihaka sort of has always been part of me, but particularly now, I guess, when you're doing your spiritual journey as you get older, it becomes more relevant. And it is about looking backwards to actually go forward. So, and they're pretty good prophets to actually look at, and a lot of their teachings are really wise. So.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ko ngā ropia hau, ko te ika Māui hau no Māhia. Ko tai tako whāo o te nira, e kuhuna ai te miro mā, te miro pango, te miro whero, Muri, kia mau ki te aroha, ki te ture, me te whakapono. There was but one eye of the needle, of which the white, black and red threads must pass. Hold fast to the love, law and truth. This proverb was spoken from Pōtatau to Whirowhiro. He was the first Māori king. And what he symbolised was a unity among people. Being here is applying these principles. And that's what he acknowledged. That's how you maintain that. And that's what you have done today. Unity is a protector of peace. Those three symbols, the raukura, 3 feathers, white albatross feathers. Those principles are a way how to maintain peace. These 2 items marry each other. What's happening in the North Island with Tūhoi, with Ruatoki, the stance with unity, it will still prevail no matter what stands in the way. Because if you apply these principles, then you will love what's standing in the way. Whether it's a person, whether it's a disease, then love it. And it will love you back. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou. I'm just going to play a little mihi, because it's customary to either sing a song after you speak. And this mihi is from a kawowo. And this waiata is named Aroha Nui, which means love for everyone, or big love, lots of love. So whakarongo mai.
So my name's Hester, and I came out to Riverside community today because I think it is absolutely part of the revolution that we're celebrating Parihaka, and it's so important that we know our history and understand what happened at Parihaka, that a peaceful people who had a strong connection to each other and a strong connection to the land. And we're developing true community. We're brutally colonised and women raped and men killed. But the important thing to remember is that the spirit of Parihaka lives on, and it lives on here today. And it's about remembering the importance of each other and peaceful relationships with ourselves and with the earth. And this is the way of the future. So it's awesome to be here.